It's nothing certain, hell to play. It's really not knowing if it's gonna work out, and it's all for the dream.
You just heard from our guest who is involved with a very special organization, CreatiVets. Mission empowers wounded veterans to heal through the arts and music.
To talk more about it, Tommy Carlos is a country music songwriter for Sony Music Nashville. Great to have you this morning.
Thanks, y'all, for having me.
Awesome. I wish I actually learned how to play a guitar, but you know what? There's still time left. But CreatiVets' goal is to offer opportunities for relief and healing for the men and women who have sacrificed so much to our country. Can you tell us a little bit about your organization?
Yeah, so I'm basically one of the volunteer songwriters. It was founded by Richard Casper, who came back from war. He had several traumatic brain injuries. He lost his gunner, who was also one of his very close friends. And he ended up healing himself through the arts. He took an art class, and then I think he met a hit songwriter and asked them to write with him, and he healed through that process. And then he founded CreatiVets, and now here we are 10 years later, and they've helped thousands of veterans. They have thousands of veterans on the waiting list, all 50 states. They've grown their programs from photography and art and painting, and I basically do most of the stuff with the music for them.
Well, CreatiVets offers songwriting programs, art programs, mentor programs. Can you explain a bit more how you've seen these programs positively benefit our veterans from your perspective and experience?
Yeah, it's incredibly powerful because it's a little bit of a head fake because it's not like traditional therapy. They will come in. I mean, I remember being skeptical the first time I tried it, and they came in, and I can't count the times where they kind of are skeptical because they really haven't ever talked to anybody or even shared their experiences. And almost every time they open up, because you're writing a song and you're just being vulnerable, and at the end of the day, it's like this weight had been lifted off their shoulders. The writing the song part is really, really cool, but it's also about them being around other people, having a mentor in the room, going backstage at the Opry and being able to just have a little private room where you share your whole experience in your life. And you usually find a great song out of it, but I think there's just so many levels on why it's kind of cathartic for them. And then at the end, they get to go with the best musicians in the world and record those songs. So if you were to ask, I don't want to say her name, but if you were to say, hey, play songs by veterans, those would be all CreatiVets songs.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
You know, music has a way of healing hearts and helping us connect in ways that we are challenged otherwise. What is the most rewarding part about helping with CreatiVets, and what's your plan to actually grow it? Because I can see so many people needing this in terms of to get over their PTSD and other issues that they battle with internally.
Yeah, well, I would encourage you to definitely have Richard Casper, the founder, on sometime. But I mean, for me, just as a songwriter, it's the most impactful thing I do in my life. I get to write songs professionally for a living and hopefully have songs on the radio and big hits and stuff. But doing this is the most impactful thing I do. When you get texts from guys saying, hey, this song saved my life, or it's a place that, or something that I go back and listen to when I'm getting down or something like that. There's nothing cooler than that. And I just haven't been through an experience after hundreds of veterans where it didn't have a profound impact on them. And Richard just knows how to handle veterans. He understands what that process is like, because you've got to be careful with that process too. And he understands that. And the whole organization, they wake up thinking, how can we lower that number of guys that are wanting to check out?
Well, it is an important issue because an estimated 7 out of every 100 veterans will be diagnosed with PTSD, according to the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. So, Tommy, do you think enough is being done to care for those who have PTSD?
I don't. I think so many of the guys feel, I think it's getting better, but I think so many of the guys feel when they're done or when they're discharged, it's like, hey, we put you through all this, we taught you how to do all this, but now you just got to go home and live a normal life like it never happened. And I think there's so much more we can do. Even some of the VAs sometimes, like there's a guy that we're trying to get him to get EMDR, and it's like he can't, he's not able to get it. And that's just not right. Like that has to be a priority to get somebody EMDR or CBT therapy. But CreatiVets is kind of filling that hole, and other organizations like them of helping them. But there's just so many. There's just so many.
True indeed. Well, you've been writing songs since you were 14 years old. What inspired you to start writing at such an early age?
I was a big fan of like Garth Brooks and people like James Taylor, and I went to the Bluebird Cafe actually in Nashville, and I saw a guy named Dean Dillon who wrote all of George Strait's big hits and Tennessee Whiskey by Chris Stapleton. I just kind of fell in love with the process and saw how, hey, this is a job you can actually do. Go in and write songs every day. And that was my goal from that point on. I knew that's what I was supposed to be doing.
Well, I love that song by Chris Stapleton. It's really fun. But what's the most memorable songwriting experience that you've had in your career? Because as our audience may or may not know, you've collaborated with many top artists.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest song is a song called Roll With Me, which was really a special song. Montgomery Gentry recorded it, and it was #1. But I'd say one of my most impactful was actually through CreatiVets with a guy named Jerry Majetic. Jerry had, I think, 80+ surgeries. You know, on the outside, he has so many burns. And it was just a special day, and we wrote a song that I still play, you know, almost every round, and definitely every CreatiVets round. He's just an amazing dude. You can look him up through the CreatiVets sites and listen to his song.
You know, Tommy, my father was a pastor, and many times he would say, you know what, while I'm preaching to people, the first person I'm preaching to is myself.
Yeah.
And it holds me accountable first. And it's rewarding to be able to give the word to others. So in your songwriting, in your performances, what do you get from it personally? Because I think you also help your inner soul knowing that you are giving back to touch so many other people.
Yeah, 100%. I think as songwriters, we're naturally empathetic anyway, or we've gone through things, or we understand what people are going through. So that's kind of the cool part, is being able to people are trying to say something, they don't know how to say it, and we can help them find a way to get this out in a way that lasts forever, that they can listen to anytime. I think that's just the power of music. Plus, music is just mysterious anyway, so I feel like God's in the room with us every time I do this, because I never know how it's going to work out, and I'm always a little nervous, and I'll walk into the room with the veteran, and God's there every time. It's just powerful.
That is powerful. Well, songwriter and music minister, Tommy Carles, thank you so much. You touched me today, and I know you touched our viewers. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and please go check out CreatiVets.org. It's just creative with the TS.org.
You got it. We appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Coming up, President Trump expresses confidence